What up, what up, what up? Episode 41 of the Shark Cove, the MSI Hangover. Is it real? Will I have a hangover drinking from the Veil? Today, we are having Hide Your Heart. But you know what? We wear our heart on our sleeves here. And I woke up this morning and I was shaking after I looked at my phone. I was so mad. I was sick to my stomach because I saw that our heroes, Rascal, Amy, Arya, apparently, they had let us down. Not only did they not get kills, they didn't get wins, they didn't get fantasy points, and they took my dollars. And there's only one person we have to blame for this. It's Mr. Moose. Moose, how you doing? And what's going on with KT?
All right, so we're at the point of the LCK where the games are decided by champions and players fucking up their hex tech gates and forcing fights by accident. This is what has to happen for team fights to occur, because KT not once but twice did that. They ran into hex tech gates that they weren't supposed to take, and then they ended up on the other side, got picked immediately, and the game ended. Literally so stupid, and they completely threw game 2 just because Rascal took the wrong gate.
Look, I've been there. I've taken the wrong turn. And, you know, there's nothing worse than taking the wrong turn on the freeway and then realizing the next exit's like 12 miles down the road. I'll tell you a story. There was one time when I was driving from Florida, moving up to Virginia. I had to get gas, right? And so I was somewhere in Georgia, right? I was a ways in, probably about a half hour into Georgia from Florida. I had, got gas, got on the freeway, and I was driving, right? I was driving for a little while. And I looked, and I was like, man, that is crazy. I saw almost the similar old model car broke down about, 45 minutes before, an hour before. That is nuts. Didn't really register. Thought it was kind of crazy. 10 minutes later, I hit the Florida border, and I realized why I'd seen that car. I was going the wrong way. So... yeah, that was that. Look, everybody takes the wrong turn, everybody takes the wrong gate, but gosh, damn it, dude, I had the faith. You sold me on KT. I believed in it. I went back and watched the other video because Spelkowski put it in the Discord, and it didn't materialize.
They were
Let's take
winning.
a look at that.
They were winning.
I didn't go back and watch these games. We've got some games to talk about. Let's take a look at this. 12-6. You know what? I actually did wake up because I thought I was going to watch it. And I woke up. And, this game had just been played. It was 12-6, and I realized that it didn't even matter. I did see the Singe support. That's cool. That was probably fun. Lehens 0-2-9. Chovy a big 1-0-9 game. This looked like a banger. 12-6. 32 minutes. I mean, what more can you say?
Super slow game where I think it was Rascal or Kuz that took the wrong gate.
All right.
And then the next one, it was definitely Rascal taking the wrong gate and just dying on this edge.
Similar game, 13-5. This, it's funny when you get one of these games though at the beginning of a slate. You're like, man, there's no way that this game could be optimal, and it almost was. And I mean, parts of it were, and that's kind of wild looking at these score lines.
Yeah, it's sad. It's the state of league needs to change. This is sad.
Here's the thing. From a fantasy perspective, I agree with you. But I will say that some of these games, not the next one we're going to talk about, maybe in some different ways, some of these games that even are lower scoring, because the durability is there are fights, it's still exciting. It's not like, let's be honest. So I know you didn't watch this game. This was the talk this morning.
There was nothing exciting. Even the casters were bored. But yeah, this is the 3-0 victory.
This game was absolutely not exciting because they weren't fighting, and that's a problem when they're not fighting, or when they're exiting fights super early to make sure that they don't die. It can make the game boring. But what I will say about this game was, I mean, at some point, it was like it became a masterful work of art somewhere around like 25 minutes in. Like, I mean, they had multiple team fights. Like, look, these dragons that both sides had, they were not uncontested dragons. Like, they had dragon fights, just nobody died. And at a certain point, it's like, how do you manage that? And then, they had a Baron fight. A couple people died, and they ended off of it. I don't know. What can I say? I was pretty excited because, I made that bet on stream last night. It was the throwaway bet. I didn't believe that it was going to hit. I thought it was bullshit. I mean, I thought there was a shot, but not like this, not comfortably like this. That was a great way to start my morning, despite my DFS lineup's not doing very well. Hitting a plus 600 is very nice, especially when, you put a full unit on it. Like, sometimes I'll put a quarter or half unit on something like that, but I put a full unit on it. It felt good, and I was rewarded. So the viewers were not rewarded. People that played Damn One were not rewarded. It was not, in fact, a bro day. The next game was a little bit better, 16-14. I didn't watch a ton of this, but it looks like Henna popped off. Maybe I'll go back and watch this one. But I think the other games were on, and so we'll go over to those real quick. We've got Rare Atom versus OMG. I caught parts of these games. It looked like OMG at times just didn't have it together. In this game right here, there was just a fight that Rare Atom forced. They didn't need to. Samira went off and just like murdered everybody. And then from there, she just snowballed a little bit. iBoy confirmed is garbage. I've defended him for too long. I've known that he's been bad, but like this was tough. Cube not getting to his 4.5 kills was also tough. Did you watch either of these games?
Yeah, I watched the Rare Atom OMG game.
Kevin, would you like to come on the show? You tell me that you can't make the show, so I don't ask you. You want to come on the show? I've got a slot for you. I'll send you a link.
We'd love to talk to you about how boring these games were.
I'll send it to you right now. Here you go.
Watching that first Rare OMG game was like, oh, the Kale's gonna come online. The Kale's gonna come online, but the Kale did not come online. So it was just sad. He was missing items, struggling to I don't know what Shanji was doing. And then the same thing in game 3. The Kale's gonna come online, and then the Kale never came online.
Well, Cube came online here. Could have used this in game 1 or 2 or both of them. Look, they were just gonna have a hard time. I felt like. And by they, I mean OMG. I think the real story of this game is not that RA came through and won. It's not that they played a Gnosis in the top lane for the first time in years in the
6 years, yeah. 6 years.
You know what the real story is here is that there were a lot of people that said, oh, man, the reason that they're benching Cream, the boy Cream, was, in fact, because his champions weren't in meta. He's an assassin player, plays LeBlanc and Akali. And they hovered Talia earlier in the series, then they play Akali. I'm telling you, Cream was toxic, got into a fight with some of these guys. Maybe even he got into a fight with Cold, got Jerry put on the team over Cold, and then something else happened. They kick him, and they say, yo, Jerry, you got to go too, and then Cold's here. Nevertheless, either way, OMG's down to 0-2, back to what they were. There was a brief moment in time where we thought OMG was taking that next step, and RA just continues to be who they are.
RA is still not a good team. They're still not a good team.
No. I mean, they have parts. I'm just upset that I'm upset that I played Leanne. That is what I'm upset about.
Yeah, but the Nasus makes complete sense for this meta, because this is the meta of Nasus farming Q until 30 minutes, and then he's just unkillable. This is a great meta for Nasus.
Let's see. Can't make it. It's nice to be asked. Well, you told me. You shouldn't have told me you can't make it.
You can't make it.
Didn't like Kale's build.
Don't build Rabadons. You don't build Rabadons on Kale. Kevin, you don't build Rabadons on Kale.
RA call. Cream was griefing that first series, probably. All right, so next series, BLG just absolutely looks dominant. Just puts away Ultra Prime. Just wrecking them, right? And like I'm looking, I put it in chat and I thought it. I was like, look, BLG is going to screw this up. They always do. They never 2-0. So at this point, they start game 2. They are absolutely working Ultra Prime. People are making fun of Elk Solution mechanics. I'm driving my wife to work. I don't even watch it on YouTube. I just come home and I assume that this series is going to be over. I get home and Ultra Prime is destroying the BLG base. I'm like, what happened here? I didn't go back and look. I was busy today. Looked like Hacker had the game of his life. He's 5-0-9. This guy is absolute garbage, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I mean, it goes to show you, when you have that twisted fate, it's just not a good look, man. Crying apparently came through here. Zoom.
Yeah,
nice numbers.
the Talia is strong, and the Lucian was a lull, kind of like how I play Lucian in ARAM. So very, very, very competitive. And then this third game is just,
God. Man. Look, draft. I don't know. I thought this was an Ultra Prime game. I don't like, and there's a reason you don't see. There's a reason you don't see Kha'Zix in
this
pro
game.
play.
This game bailed me out big time in cash, big time.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it did. Like, look, there's a reason you don't see him. You don't see him, and you don't see him because he's just not great in team fights. But they got so far ahead. Crying was doing everything that he could. I don't understand. So here's the biggest question I have for Ultra Prime: why, when your best 2 players are Elk and presumably Zoom, are you not building your carries around these 2 guys? Like, why are we getting Shousey in a farming Tom Kench? Why is Crying having to step up? Why is Hacker even on this team anymore? There's a lot of potential here. I don't think that Crying's a bad mid laner for this, but he is not the main carry on a team. Obviously, the dude can win MSI and go pretty far in Worlds on a team with other studs around him. And he can step up when he needs to, but he can't be called upon 2 games in a row to carry a series. Simply is not going to work. BLG, in typical BLG fashion, win game 1, lose game 2, Fiesta game 3. You can take the Uzi out of BLG, but you can't take that mindset out of him.
Yeah, I think Up are gonna be good this year to some extent. Like they're definitely gonna be that sort of OMG AL ranked team where they're gonna be just beating up on the smaller teams and losing to BLGs and stuff like that. But all in all, like these Senna picks, man, oh my god, just kill me. Like I once I see the Senna pick, I'm like, dude, that's it. My lineup's dead. Like you can't do anything. He's starving the Senna, and then you're hoping that he gets you like 312, and then he gets you like 305, and you're like, great, thanks for the 30 CS. So overall, there's a lot of stuff that has basically made fantasy point contribution very difficult. And right now, I think the biggest thing to focus on is that Nuggery outscored Bin last night by 5 points. He had 59 points, and he had a 3-0 win where he scored 1 kill. That's how bad Bin was, because he just wasn't paying attention. He was just farming and not even participating. And then they would just say Bin ult, and then he'd be like, all right, I'm ulting, and then he's back to farming. And he's like, oh, I'm throwing the barrels, just doing his GP shit. But in terms of but you need the CS is nice, Kevin. The CS is nice on Senna. So on top of that, the point that I'm trying to make is that two zeros have never been more valuable in DFS. 2 zeros are just super valuable now, and Nuguri is the perfect example of that. I don't think any top laner except for Cube played well yesterday. So props to Cube. I've stopped my Cube hate. As you guys can see, I stopped trashing Cube this split. So we're good. We're friends now.
All right. Well, let's talk about. We'll probably go in reverse order. Let's talk. Actually, you know what? Let's go in the right order. I've got it here. So we'll leave the good games to the end. Let's talk about this one right here. We got EDG going against JD Gaming. These are 2 holes in your heart. We got JD Gaming as the dog here at plus 115. EDG has not looked good despite what the casters say. I mean, they look good, but contextually on how good we expect them to be, I don't think that they've lived up to that. I think JD Gaming is performing at or a little bit above what we thought. First game or first series jitters, whatever. What are you thinking here? I mean, what do we got for a kill total on this?
Let's see.
Around 24 and a half?
24 and a half. You said you're going to start with You said you're gonna leave the good games for last, but this is the good game.
I don't know, man. Is it a good game? Do you want to be participating in a game that has EDG Gaming when they win this game 12-4 and then they win the next game 12-6?
I really don't think they're gonna. I mean, for me, like this is a 17 kill EDG game. Okay, this is a high percentile 17 kill EDG game.
You're living
Yeah,
in a different world, dude.
I really think that
Different patch,
they're
different
gonna
world, different
score.
meta.
They're gonna score well. I mean, I don't think they're gonna score amazingly. Like I'm not expecting EDG to get 20 kills, but hey, 17, 18 kills, baby, it's in the cards.
All right, well, let's be honest. I haven't looked at pricing. I did projections. I don't even remember what they were.
These are the two closest teams. EDG is like slightly favored.
So JDG is going to be the chalk dog, though, right?
Chalk dog, 100%.
100%. Do you think that they're going to be higher owned than some of the favorites, or the like, let's say RNG? I mean, look, I don't know, man. I do think that there is probably a higher ceiling or probability of how many times this game gets to the ceiling. I do like JDG whenever you're going to play them. If you think that they're going to win, I think that they're probably going to end up as one of the higher scoring teams most of the time. But let's be honest, if EDG wins this, you could see it very similar to their games with Weibo, which were not fantasy bonanzas. You have to hope that your top laner gets the right guys, gets the right champions, wins the games. But hey, we play the dogs here. We don't play the chalk dogs. So maybe we don't play JDG. Maybe it's EDG or pass. I don't know if I want to bet JDG at plus 115. Do you think this is a good enough odds here?
No, I like JDG. Obviously this is a good matchup for to kind of get a feel for who's where and what spot. But I think in everybody's head this minus 145 is actually a much bigger number. Like I don't think anybody's looking at this matchup and saying, okay, JD's got this in the bag. You know what I'm saying? To me, it feels like minus 148 is probably, or minus 150 is probably the right line. But I don't. I think it's either 2-0 for EDG or 2-1. It's just tough for me to see a way JD Gaming wins unless Edward Gaming do what they did in the first match. Didn't they give up a map in the first match? I would have to revisit that.
Yo, Harvey, what's up? Yeah, it's a party over here. We're gonna get to the Western slates. We're gonna gloss over them.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I've got some strategies. I want to add to the strategy that I said yesterday. I think you need double blue side to do it. If you watched yesterday, you know what I'm talking about. You need double blue side for those captains. However, if you didn't watch, go back and watch the video. I give a little nugget, put it together. That's how we increase views. Let's go.
JD Gaming did beat Top Esports, and so far EDG are 2-0, but I think I would favor EDG in that spot, and I think you're basically gonna play them in tournaments, and if you want to play them in cash, you can play anybody tonight with EDG or GDG, so have fun, but just know that everybody's gonna be looking in that direction.
Moose, question:
Yes,
MSI Hangover. The lag, is it real? I posted 2 years of results that show the teams that won their respective regions earned the trip to MSI disproportionately. Not disproportionately. It just sounds cool when you say that, but they end up with like a 55 to 60% win rate over their first 5 games. Now, this is a different scenario here for RNG. RNG didn't go anywhere. RNG couldn't go anywhere. It's not like after they got done, they went and hung out with their girlfriends or family or whatever. They were locked in a facility, had nothing to do but play LOL. I have to believe that this team is ready to go, but this number for FPX, despite them always looking kind of just lost, like they want to be good, but they're not. They're good, but they aren't. Like you just don't know. But plus 475, plus 1.5, plus 135 to take a map. A perfectly competent team like FBX, can they come in here and steal a game? Can they steal 2 games? Can they steal this series? Is it possible? Can it happen? Will it happen? Let's breathe.
I like that. So I my take on this is that this line is obviously an overreaction to FPX getting absolutely demolished by Invictus a couple days ago in what was a really weird weekend game. If you guys recall, Invictus made FPX look like they were children, which they are. So I think that in this case, I mean, I'm gonna put a unit on the plus 1.5 because the plus 135 is definitely juicy. But I don't know if FPX have I don't know if they have it. I don't know if they can beat RNG. And I mean, we're talking about RNG being the best team in the LPL. Are they coming off the MSI Hangover? Sure, but
Best team in the world.
yeah, best team in the world, best team in the LPL, best team in the world. Some might argue.
Some might even argue the best in the solar system, or possibly even the galaxy.
And in that case, I think that I just don't see a world where FPX are 2-0ing and I don't see a world where they 2-1. I feel like this is an FPX takes a map or they just get stomped like they did by Invictus. And it doesn't, like, when you're watching both games, including the EDG games and the Invictus games, it doesn't feel like FPX have anything together. Like, it doesn't feel like Jalahu knows what he's doing. He's playing Fiora and just farming it up and then losing games because that's what Fiora does. Until the one game where like EDG loses so badly early game that Jalahu comes alive and with the Fiora and then he actually does something. And it feels like Klid's not leading the team well. It doesn't feel like the carries know what they're doing. It doesn't feel like they're setting up plays well. And I just don't see a world where FPX have the talent and nobody's on them tonight for sure. I'm definitely not playing FPX in cash. I'm taking the plus 1.5 here. Or as Vince Colati would call it, I am holding my nose for tonight's match.
Bro, nobody's playing FPX in cash. Nobody's insinuating that you need to play FPX in cash.
No, I'm not playing them in cash. I'm saying nobody's
Why?
playing
No, but nobody's going to play them in cash. You said cash. But look, I think what you're trying to say is for FPX, the top doesn't know what he's doing. Jungle doesn't know what he's doing. LWX doesn't know what he's doing. Hang doesn't know what he's doing. And the mid laner just doesn't care.
He can't hang.
Dude, gotta breathe. Yeah, maybe mid laner doesn't care, so he can't hang.
Gotta breathe, yeah.
Oh, man. It's a gala of puns tonight, let me tell you. So, look, here's a thought process on this. I think there's a lot of times where we put together this narrative in our head, and we talk about games like this, and we like, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. And then tomorrow we're like, oh, well, fuck, that was the way. So I think that it's entirely possible. I wouldn't touch FPX in cash. It shouldn't even move into your brain. But in the $15, I think you should consider playing FPX. And I think Mega Chad M. Bellman is probably going to play him in the 333. I've seen him play these disgusting plays before.
Some John G lineups.
He'll play GT.
This is the John G lineup, isn't it? This is John's lineup right here, dude.
Yeah, totally is. I might be playing some FPX. I think it's possible. I definitely think that plus 1.5 is a great bet. I think FPX can steal a game. It's just going to be difficult for them to get to, but you never know. This MSI Hangover is something real. We've seen upsets. You don't need to go any further than go back last year. Look through all the regions. I think it was RNG was 1-4, and 2 of those losses were really bad. Damwon had like a bad loss. I think it's when they lost to Bro. Going into some of the minor regions, like we saw like C9 just fall apart. Bad Lions had a tough start, and then seems like Detonation Focus Me over in Japan. They lost like 4 out of their first 5 games, and some of them were really bad losses, and then they won the rest of the games. So there's something to be said about that. This patch has been out, a certain amount of time, but like these teams just haven't gotten around to it, and they haven't gotten around to playing in a game because they haven't been scheduled. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying there, but my point being, when we see these teams play their first game, a lot of times it's lower scoring. We like to think of RNG as this big high scoring team, but that's just not been the case regularly for them. And maybe it was Bin's fault, but I don't think that it was. I think that there's a very good possibility that even if RNG wins this 3-0, they end up in the 70s or 80s, which could be a great score. Look, I'm moving the market right now. We were at 475. Somebody went in, made some moves. Maybe Bovada's watching. I appreciate it. So, all right. Without further ado, let's get into the next 2 games. pair that I'm excited for. We've got Liv Sandbox making their debut as plus 280 dogs against our favorite Guangdong Freaks.
Here we
These
go
dudes
again.
are led by Mega Chad Teddy, who unshackled himself from T1 so he could just come out here and put up fantasy points in 100 points in a 2-1. Doesn't get any deaths, just kills, maybe an assist here and there. Guangdong is favorites. Man, people are going to go to Guangdong here, aren't they? They're going to try and fit them in. I don't know, man. Maybe they're expensive.
I don't think so.
I don't really think that anything's bettable here. I think so. Here are the situations. I think that this game ends with either all of the games. I think either of these teams win. It's between 12 and 15 kills. The other team has 4 or 5, and I think that's how every game looks. If it's Sandbox, this team always won like 15-4 or 16-5. We don't even know who's playing ADC for them. I think it's Prince. It could be Envy.
I think it's Prince.
You don't know. I don't know. We don't know.
Prince is a Chad. He's been on the team before. He's a Chad. He's playing the game.
You're probably right. I don't know. This game doesn't feel super sexy. I'm probably going to play a lot of it though.
So my take on this is that people just got super burned, including me, by KDF, except for Teddy, of course. You know, LM put up I think it was 59 points from a winning jungler position.
Bro, you should never play alone ever. Dude is garbage.
It was the only way I could fit the stack that I wanted, sir. So you know what? We're just gonna take the L there. I think that people are super burned on KDF, and I myself am burned on KDF. I can't do it. I can't play them in cash. I can only play Teddy. You know, the rest of the team just can't score, in my opinion, and I just not only that, but if you watch the games, if you did watch the Hanwha Life games, Hanwha Life kept it close for the first 2 games, very close, and obviously they won the second game. They were very close to turning and winning the first game until KDF like just macro choked them. But you know, I'm just not impressed with KDF. This line is way too large, and we have no clue what LSB is gonna do. The question is how does this meta benefit guys like Dove and Closer?
I think Dove, this could be a good series for Dove, but I mean, or it could be a good meta for Dove, I should say. This might not be a good series. You know, he's got formidable competition on the other side. I just don't like Sandbox. They're going to sneak out a couple wins. They're going to be viable for DFS. I just don't think it's this week. So,
me neither. I don't think it's this week, but I'm just not impressed with KDF so far. Like, people, you know, there's nothing to rave about. You beat HLE 2-1, and you narrowly won the first game. Like, to me, that I'm just not interested in anybody but Teddy, and because of that, it makes cash building really hard tonight.
Next one up, we've got T1 versus Nongshim. But 2 days ago, did I swear Nongshim off forever? Despite a mega chat performance from our boy BDD, we're taking a look at the 2 of the best Azir players in the entire world here, Faker and BDD. Very similar players in a lot of ways. Nongshim comes in as a plus 410. We talked about the hangover, the MSI hangover. The shroud of invincibility had been lifted from T1. What are we going to see? Are we going to see Nongshim come and get the upset? Are we going to see T1 come out in style like they did before? Are we going to see a snoozer game, Damwon style?
So, initially my read on this game is that, you know, I think if we both agreed that Nongshim should have you know taken the DRX series to a game 3, that, you know, they're definitely live, and they were definitely live in both maps against DRX. But the more I think about it, I just you know, this is another one of those FPX situations where it's tough for me to see Nongshim win, and I don't know who's gonna score. I don't know who's gonna score on their team. I don't know who I want to play from that roster. And for me, it feels like T1 just has so much in-person practice. They're just such a well practiced team, such a talented team, that the minus 155 honestly feels attractive.
Okay.
It just might be just a straight T1 walks in, they just 2-0 and they leave, and the confidence that they display in games like this where they easily dominate, usually leads them to higher kill totals. And when I say higher kill totals, I mean like 17, 18 kills.
So I guess the problem that I had with Nongshim was that not the way that they played, but the way that they team fought. You don't think that they fixed that over the last 2 days?
Not well enough to be T1.
All right, fair enough. Would you, if you had to take one, do you want FPX at plus 135 or do you want Nongshim at plus 120?
I'll take FPX, but I don't feel like after Invictus, I don't feel like anybody's going to be on FPX tonight in tourneys.
Do you think if Nongshim played FPX, FPX would 2-0 Nongshim?
No.
Think they would 2-1 them?
Yeah, but I think FPX would win.
Okay. All
right. What a weird matchup. You're making up.
Look, man, I'm just saying we're pretty confident in that plus 1.5 for FPX. We think that's a good bet. FPX is playing RNG, who beat T1. Nongshim's playing T1. Like the odds aren't that changed. Like, so do we think that Nongshim's that much worse than FPX? Is I guess where I'm going with it.
It's a tough comparison, but I don't know. I still regard T1 as the best team in the world. So.
All right. Before we hop into the Western leagues, let's take a look at some projections. Our friends at Fantasy Labs do not have Breathe in the player pool. They didn't have Ben in the player pool yesterday. I guess neither of these guys are in the league. Why would they be? Who gives a shit, right? Let's take a look at these and how they kind of break out. I've got Canna in a win. I look, here's the reality. The way that these projections come out has a lot to do with how I score the games. There's a lot of bias put in there. But I really think that if Nongshim beats T1, they're not doing that with a low-scoring macro game. They're going to get 16, 17 kills. That's how they're going to win the game, right? And that's how they're going to win 2 games or 3. They're not going to win 3, but if they lose 1, they have to play the other 2. So that's a big reason that I think Canna is the highest scoring here. But it's pretty close. You can see just everybody except for that FPX, and I don't know if FPX needs to beat RNG the same way that Nongshim needs to beat T1. So that's kind of where I'm at, kind of on how this scoring works. But I think in a 2-0, FPX just doesn't get clobbered in the one game that they lose, and that's kind of why there's this disproportionate number. From a jungler's perspective, again, Dread's going to be up there. We've got Kanavi, scores a ton of points, but I've got Owner up there, scoring quite a few points himself. Clade at the bottom, Way. Look, when it comes to RNG, this is the biggest thing that I'm thinking about when trying to project these teams. Like now you've got Breathe, Way, Xiaohu, Gala. Who gets the kills, man? And how does that affect their fantasy points? Who's the carry? Are they okay with it? I mean, they obviously are, but like, how do you do all this? Do you think that there is a possibility? Like, do you have to lock Breathe in your lineups? I don't know where he would project. We can look at that in a second, but do you lock Breathe in?
Well, you already projected Breathe in your content announcements, and you projected him for a 79 points and a 2-0, and for me, that is a lot of points for a top laner.
Yeah, but I mean, Kana is at 90.
Yeah, but that's so are we really talking about Nongshim 2-0ing or even 2-1ing T1?
What about Flandre? He's at 85. 79 puts Breathe right there in 369 territory. Here's my only thought, and this is just like projecting it. That was a median projection. But what if you're like, yo, Breathe, we want to treat you like Zoom. We're going to give you Kale and we're going to give you GP. Go ahead, have at it.
I love Breathe tonight. I'm hard slamming RNG and cash. And I'm at the point, I know you can't even build this with Fantasy Labs. Like maybe you could bust out your DraftKings or something and just make a lineup on an incognito or something. But basically, I'm at the point where I will gladly take 4 RNG with Breathe as my captain just to get more RNG tonight. Because I just don't know if T1's going to score. I definitely don't think KDF is going to score, and I don't want any surprises. So I'll gladly just play 4 RNG in cash and hope RNG do what they're supposed to do. Okay. And for me, like I was tinkering with lineups all day because it's very hard to fit a good cash lineup today, unless you're playing one of JDG or EDG, right? But if you want to fade that game completely, you're playing Breathe in cash, and you're playing him up top.
So who are you stacking them with?
I'm playing them with T1.
Well, I tell you, it fits perfectly with KDF, with Teddy and Ken, whatever.
Oh yeah, it does as well. If you want to play KDF, if you want to play KDF as well, you could play Keen, Teddy, and KDF team, or you could play Zeus, Guma, and T1. Pick your poison. I just feel like after what Invictus did to FPX, it would be stupid not to have 4 RNG in your lineup for cash. Seeing that the numbers that IG did put up in this meta.
Okay. Fair. Well, moving on down, we've got BDD up there, no doubt. Closer up there. Xiaohu, Scout, ADC, Teddy. No surprise. Mega Chad, Teddy.
Such a Chad. Just carrying that entire team on his back with his Ezreals and Kai'Sus.
As weird as everything is, I've got Hang projected as the highest scoring support. Okay, cool. Work here. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Ming does, for some reason, I'll have to check that, see how that works. Okay. Final thoughts. Do you want to run through a couple of these lineups, or are we just playing top captains for cash?
I did have an idea. Hold on. Can you do EDG with RNG? Oh no, you can't. You don't have Breathe.
I don't have Breathe, but
what do you have?
You can get a mid captain.
Yeah. So there's some ideas with EDG being able to fit them with RNG tonight. I feel like just like yesterday, double FPL might come through big time with these matchups, and so EDG, RNG, JDG with anybody you want is gonna fit perfectly fine.
Let's see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Let me check my lines for accuracy.
As we close out the Eastern leagues, top owned team, go ahead.
RNG.
All right. Second highest owned team.
T1.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be EDG.
Maybe. I feel like T1 is just T1. I feel like people just like locking in the chalk, man.
Yeah, but I don't think people. I think people are going to get scared away. I think they're going to treat this like kind of like Dam 1. There's just this, I don't know, unfounded belief that T1 is not a high scoring team, and I know we got away from that last year or last split, but I think EDG just fits with everybody. I think that they're going to be pretty popular. I think that they come in slightly over T1. I mean, I could be wrong. I think whichever. I think it was RNG, EDG, T1, JDG, AF. Anybody watching have any difference of opinion there?
Put together KDF with T1, just for laughs.
Oh, you know I'm going to play some of this, right?
Because I don't feel like anybody's going to be holding this bad boy right here. But you can fit.
Oh, you got to go jungle captain though.
No, you don't. You can fit. You can fit a 4-3 with Teddy or Guma up top.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. There it is.
Interesting. It's a 3-3-1.
Yeah, it's a 4-3 team is what I call it.
Yeah, but I hate these pieces. I don't like it like this. I would prefer. I know these are my projections, but I would prefer like something like this, right? You can't get owner.
No, you would have to play Fate.
Ugh. Oh yeah. I mean, I play. No, Fate's more expensive. I think you can only do it this way.
Only with Keen, Teddy. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's either that way or you flip Teddy and Guma. That's the only way.
Yeah, I think I'd rather do that. No, you can't even do that. No, man, it doesn't work. Oh, that's because that's something else.
You're double locking Guma there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Enjoy.
Maybe that was my mistake. Hang on one second.
That looks like a C Bavin type of lineup right there.
So I can't maybe.
Oh, not with Keen. You'll have to take Elam.
I don't want to play Owen. I can't do it. All right. So
Double LCK.
that's that. Let's go ahead and let's talk about some of these other games. I know you're not as big on this. I know you're usually sleeping or walking in digital shoes or doing some weird shit like that, shaving your beard. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. We got Vitality and Mad Lions. Let's open these up. Notable change here. Vitality has brought in Haru after a great ERL, EU Masters, looking good. World champion Haru. Mad Lions have brought in Niski. Mad Lions are the dog here. Look, I don't know how you don't play Mad Lions.
Well, actually, Oh My Dear wants to get on the show, so I'd love to welcome him. But he is the biggest Mad Lions tout of the season, and he's definitely going to be on Mad Lions here.
Plus yeah, I mean, I'm not even looking at this from a DFS perspective. I don't have the pricing. I mean, I could pull it up, but I haven't done any projections. I'm just looking at it from a betting standpoint and overall talking about it. But I think Mad Lions probably are a popular play. I think that they become significantly better with Niski. I think that they become significantly better in this meta. I think Vitality does not. I think that there's a fair amount of people that might believe that Alfari benefits from this kind of top carry meta. I don't. I think he still sucks. I think Labrov is terrible. I think Perks is past his prime. Karzi's not that good. Haru's just a dude that fucks, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to fuck here. I love the Mad Lions giving me plus 161. We've got a total on this at 26.5. I'm going to lean towards unders, man. I'm going to lean unders on every single one of these games. I don't really care what it is. It's the first time that they're playing on stage in this patch. Give me the under. Give me the under 26.5. Let's go to the next.
Yeah, that's a big under.
BDS versus SK Gaming. BDS has made some wholesale changes here. Now they have picked up a top laner who I believe is a carry top laner. That's Aggressive Boo. And we've got a change in the support with Erdot. SK Gaming. Fuck. I don't know, man.
JNX, Gilius, Certus, Jesu Treats.
Oh, man. They have Gilius, huh? Yeah, man. I want BDS here. I do. I think Aggressive is really good. I think that he can play some of these champions. I think that he's going to kind of be a key here. And I think they brought him up to this team to do that. I just don't think that there's a lot of synergy down in the academy team. This SK team, they feel like an academy team to some extent. BDS felt like an academy team last season. X-Matty started to play better, but I like Nuclear. I think Syncroft's good. Aggressive and Erdot. Look, I'm all over BDS at minus 105. 24.5. I'm still taking the under. Might buy it up to 25.5 to buy at 130. Probably won't.
No, don't. That's too low for teams of this caliber, no?
No, I'm going to go under. I still am going to go under. 24.5, I think, is kind of the number. Anything under that is kind of hard to bet.
Yeah. Hoagland said he got a takedown from last night from me.
Wow. Nice. Matt is the easiest play on the slate. Man, the easiest play on the slate was Game Ward today against BDS Academy. That was the easiest game on the slate. Let me tell you, that was just a smash game. Not even close. But I agree. Mad's a great slate or played on the slate. Here we go. Misfits and XFL. This is it's a make or break game, man. Right? Like this is it. I think this is a split game that people are going to split and they're in their DFS exposure. I think that this is an accurate line. I don't think I want any part of it. I think I'll probably just take the under at 26.5. I think Misfits are good. I think Excel was trending up. I love Marcoon. Patrick's always a G. But Neon and Vithio, those two are for me.
Yeah, I would venture to. If you can get a plus number on Misfits, I would take that. I feel like Misfits roster is really good and performed well last split. So I really don't know. I mean, are these the odds you would have seen last split with Misfits on the run that they went?
No, that's a good point. But XL made a run towards the end, and I think that that's what's reflected here. I think that if you want like plus odds, I think you're buying a lot for it. Taking the -4.5 to get plus 110 from -110. I mean, I think if you think Misfits are going to win and you're pretty confident and you think that this line is wrong, which is what you're insinuating, then take the Misfits. I think that this line's pretty right, and as a result, I don't want to move it, even though it might be like 10 points one way or 10 points the other way, but it's just not it's not something that is that far off to me. Let's talk about this though.
What was there to talk about?
Moose,
The MSI Hangover.
Now you're catching on. We do have the MSI Hangover, but we also have a top carry meta. Broken Blade, probably the most
broken top laner.
He is. But, Moose, do you know who he's playing? Who's on Astralis? Do you know the top laner on Astralis? You're an old timer.
Yeah, I know the top laner on Astralis.
Who?
It's a guy that shouldn't be playing League anymore. Vici Chachi.
Why do you say that, man? Do you not watch EU Masters? Did you not watch the ERLs and the LFL when he was smurfing and carrying his team? I like this game for Astralis.
Are we playing Rise top again?
No, man, the guy was playing pop. He was playing all different types of things. He was good, dude. He really was. I'm pretty excited. I don't think I'm really high on this Astralis team as a whole. But I think that they could surprise some people, especially if he steps up. And look, man, this is the type of game that, look, at the end of the day, if you believe the MSI Hangover is a real thing, and I know that there are some people within the handicap world that just like try to poo-poo it, try to not have a lot of fun sometimes. You know who you are. And I get it. I do. It's hard to quantify this. But the fact is, FPX is plus 475. Astralis is plus 375. And Nongshim is plus 400. Bro, we only need one of those three to win. If you believe in the MSI Hangover, you bet a unit on every single one of these. And as long as one of them wins, you're okay. And then you live to fight another day. You actually make a profit, is what ends up happening. So you can't tell me that Astralis is not the most likely of these three to come out of this. It's a plus 375, week one, MSI Hangover, best of one series. Take it to the bank. Astralis is going to win.
EU Masters. It's more like EU disasters. This is going to be rough, bro. Plus 375.
Could be.
The odds are correct, at least.
Final game. We've got FNC. We've got Rogue. We've got two teams that didn't make it to MSI.
Brewer says G2 always loses to Astralis.
And like he said, dude, the easiest play on the slate. All the plays are easy.
I don't want any part of this Rogue Fnatic matchup, but I think the odds are correct. Rogue are they're just a regular season machine, man. They just play well in the regular season.
How is Odo going to work in this meta? Do you think that a weak side player like him is going to be able to flourish against a guy that they might let carry in Wonder and get some champions that he can utilize some of his raid boss skills? I don't know. I like Rogue here. I wouldn't be surprised if Fnatic won. I think this is you take one side of it if your day's going good towards the end, and just pick it so you have a sweat. I'm a Rogue kind of guy. I've been a Rogue fan since like a year or two ago. Since before being a Rogue fan was cool, and it's still not cool. And I'll be a Rogue fan when it is cool. I have my Rogue jersey, my RA jersey, my XL jersey. I don't have any of them, but it's harder to acquire the overseas ones. But nevertheless, all I have is FlyQuest. Because when it comes down to it, guys, you just got to buy FlyQuest jerseys. They just look way sicker than everybody else. I don't have any part. I'm good on this. We'll take the under 25.5 here.
That's a good one. That's a great under 25.5 on a Rogue game.
Yeah, for sure. All right, almost done. We're almost to the end now.
So you're not playing. So you wouldn't play Vitality in cash at minus 210?
No.
No. He wants
Bro,
no
like
part
it
of
was
it,
like
bro.
week 3 and Vitality was negative 600 and 0-2, just losing to 2 shitty teams last year. Never again. Moose, let's start with this game. Let's start with Dignitas and CLG. Dignitas minus 275. This seems like a bit of an agarrious number. Like this is
This is
this is a heavy
this
this
is
is
a
a heavy
very large
number for a
number.
mid team like Dignitas. I
Hold on,
get it, man. It's CLG and CLG's not good. Except for when they are, man. Like this team has a lot of individual talent. Luger, Palafox. I mean, I say that with like some
Whoever
questionable
else plays on that team.
it's contracts and Dokla. Like this, I think that this team, one of the look,
And Poomer.
there are a couple things that kept CLG from being good last year, and I'm going to name them. The first one is it seemed like they hated each other sometimes. Okay, maybe they like each other now. That's solved.
Dokla will fix that.
Palafox was absolute garbage in some games, but he was really good in other games. This could be a game where he's really good. So that's fixed. Jenkins was the top laner, I believe. The dude was absolute dog shit. So bad. Everybody blamed my boy Contracts, and he deserved it. He deserved it. That guy, when he sees a champion, he goes in, tries to kill him. It doesn't matter if he's by himself and there's 4 other champions. He's going in. He's going to ward jump on Lee Sin, and somehow he thinks that this is going to end up well. You love to see it. That's a lot of enthusiasm. That's a problem, but Jenkins just sucked. Jenkins was bad. I think Jenkins had one game where he carried. Outside of that, Dokla was a beast down in the academy. Give him another shot. Let's go. CLG plus 200. It's too big of a number in a best of 1. The problem is, and this is what it comes down to, Moose. This is the LCS. There's not a team in the LCS, LEC, LPL, LCK, or this entire galaxy that Dignitas at a pro level should be minus 275. I don't even think they should be minus 275 against like Carmine Corp. I don't think that they should be minus 275 against some other top teams in the ERLs, let alone CLG.
Against us in an ARAM, should they be minus 275?
Yeah, probably. That's fair. But we're not a pro team, so.
So this number is egregiously large, and here I'll make your narrative even better. The organization's in shambles. They just pulled out of Counter-Strike as well. They're done with Counter-Strike. The organization's in shambles. The coaches aren't focused. Nobody knows what Blue's gonna do. CLG plus 200.
Wait. Okay, so nobody knows what Blue's gonna do. There's no focus. What was the other part? I don't know. I thought you had like a poem or a rhyme going.
No,
you just have to say it with some tempo, with a little bit of melody.
Yeah, it's got a little tempo in there, but yeah. I will never bet they can toss to minus 275 anyone.
Organizations in shambles. Nobody knows what Blue's gonna do.
Yeah, they're gonna lose to CLG. That's what they're gonna do.
Immortals minus. Well, no, Immortals plus 325. Team Liquid minus 500. Another number that I just think is fucking wrong, man.
Well, you got to build around revenge, and then you're gonna win, baby. That's why they knew the meta was coming. Immortals knew, baby. They knew the meta was coming.
Yeah, but not only that, but we have Kindred being like a super strong pick that like not a lot of people utilize, but Kenvi, who's been stuck in Academy just smurfing for what seems like forever at this point. Kindred specialist, I wouldn't be surprised if they ban it. And like if they ban Kindred, that just means that there's other champions that get through because you ban Kindred. You don't want to be stuck banning Kindred, like, right? This is a farming, scaling meta, perfect for PoE. And they changed their bot lane too, right? They did. They had to. I know it's not Arrow, and I know it's not Wild Turtle. So who's in the bot lane for these guys right now?
It's Lost.
Okay. Lost.
And Ignar.
Bro, that's better than Destiny and Arrow.
It's green. Bro, it's a bro day. They're both green teams. Immortals, ML, plus 325. Lock it. Plus 7.5. Lock it.
I love it. I love it. I don't know if they'll win, but let's go.
Dude,
Let's take
plus
it.
7.5, bro. This
Let's
game
do
might
it.
end 3-0. You never know. Plus 7.5.
Well, and that's the thing. You could take, especially if you're betting a lot of these unders, like when you get, okay, so it's a 23 with a map, a kill spread of plus 7.5. That's a pretty big difference between the two. So, like that's great. I like it. Let's move on to this one. 100 Thieves TSM. God, I got to bet the dog again, man. I need 3 of these dogs to win, right?
TSM. TSM.
Holy shit. You know the lineup that wins well, I guess it's only 2K to
You know
first.
what
Like,
TSM stands for?
I don't know. Prime will probably tweet it out in some
It's,
form or
it's
fashion.
prime. It stands for totally shit management. And that's what this team's going to do. They're going to totally shit on 100 Thieves at plus 225. Is that what you think? You got to take the kill spread. Plus 7.5. Speaker in the game.
Well, I think the under is an absolute smash here. Well, maybe not. Like, okay, so I would say the 24 and a half is what 100 Thieves numbers usually are anyway. So, with this meta being the first game, this should be a game that should be a smash under. However, if there was a team that we wanted to kind of attack last year, it was TSM. Now, granted, this TSM team is very different than the one that we saw in spring. So I think I'm going to smash the under. I don't know, man. I think this is the dog that I'm going to lay off of. It's going to be the dog that wins, and I'm going to be pissed.
No, I don't think so. I don't think TSM's a good team. I don't see this. What is Maple gonna do, bro? He's gonna tell Shani to make plays, like.
Is it even Shani though? He's been playing.
Oh God, who knows, man? But this team is like, I don't know. The Hooney Sunday matchup is like forever, just like a wash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Though Sunday had a killer split last split.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves wins this game. I think one of the benefits that they have over a lot of organizations is that they do have a really deep talent pipeline with 100 Thieves Academy team, 100 Thieves next. And I would imagine that those guys scrim against each other a fair amount. It's kind of why those other teams are as good as they are. But like the 100 Thieves Academy team, they just won me a bunch of money. It hasn't posted yet, but they swept. They look good. Man, Silas is a beautiful counter for Swain right now. I don't know why more teams don't pick it. I think it's going to happen.
Does he use the Swain ult?
Yeah, yeah, it does.
It's sick.
Yeah, dude. If you watch Game 2 against EG Academy, Jimin just absolutely smurfs on Silas against Swain. It was beautiful to watch. Golden Guardians and FlyQuest. I don't feel like betting this. I think I'll take the under. Neither of these teams, excite me. Neither of them are bad. I think FlyQuest actually gets worse. Golden Guardians probably should be the favorite, but then I look at their lineup and I see Stixay in it, right? Like Stixay's back, right? Like, I'm not crazy about that.
Stixay.
Yeah, it's Stixay.
He's back, eh?
But then you got Phil up in the top lane on the other side. Yeah, I just don't want any part of this. I'll take the under, kind of move it on. I don't think that I'll have either of these teams in a lot of fantasy lineups. And maybe this game pops off because it's one of those things where two equal teams play each other and they don't end up finishing. But I think it's more likely that these two teams don't finish and then end up finishing with low kill totals. Let's go to the last game, Moose. Why do you think I made this the last game?
Because it's a good game.
It is a good game. Why else? What does this game here have in common with a lot of the other games that we might have talked about already?
The MSI Hangover.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that this game didn't get posted until like yesterday or later today, or earlier today. I've been checking for it. It's not there. I'm taking Cloud9. We have no idea what kind of roster that they're going to be putting out there. Sven might be playing ADC. I don't think Berserker made it over unless he maybe did. But this meta, Fudge did not look great as a mid laner. He looked all right. He probably would look good in a couple of years. Mechanically gifted. I love Fudge in this meta. Top carry Fudge. He's not playing against better mechanical mid laners. He's playing against shit LCS top laners. He's playing against old man Impact. I love it, man. I love it. I'm taking Cloud9 here.
If we're going with the Hangover, we gotta take Cloud9 here. But man,
well, if we weren't, this is the one that you can kind of abstain from because it is plus 110, but this is the LCS. I think that this is going to be a realer thing. The worse the teams are, and Danny even said that they were exhausted. They played so much. So the difference between, let's say, like a T1, RNG, EG, and G2. Let's examine all these teams and talk about some of the reasons that this MSI hangover could be real and why I think it's going to affect the teams that I think it's going to affect. Again, RNG, I think that they played a lot of games, but they played them in the comfort of their facility. These guys are used to it. You know, Xiaohu's been through this, Gallo's been through this, Ming's been through this, Wei's been through this. So I don't think that it's going to affect them as much. But this Evil Genius team, super young, hasn't played this much, not at this capacity, not at this level. I think they're going to be exhausted, or they were exhausted, and that may have affected it. When you look at T1, you can say that Faker's been through it, but the rest of the team really hasn't. You know, they're really talented, but Zeus, Owner, Gumi, all super young, could have an impact on them. G2, Caps and Yankos have been through it. Broken Blade hasn't been through it. Not like this. Flacken, Targamas. I mean, I want to target these three teams. I think Cloud9 wins this game. And, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And, of course, I'm taking the under. Yeah, man, he can play support. Just put him on Yumi. Why not?
Sven can play anything.
Yeah.
He's Sven. He's been with the team for like 5 years.
Bro, he won Champions Queue, you know?
Yeah, he won Champions Queue. There you go. No, it's I actually like the Sven switch. They kept looking for a support, so okay, fine, give him a shot. Yeah, I like the take. What do you think about the over/under?
I think I'm going to take the under. I'm getting it at minus 105.
Okay. Well, I can't take the over at minus 125. That is stupid.
Absolutely. So that's it, Moose. We're betting the dogs. We're hoping they're barking. We're playing the dogs. We're hoping they're barking. Go out there, put some change together. Get into 333 if you're watching. We need to fill it. We didn't yesterday. We came 6 short. Nathan, if you're watching, go put 3 in there. There's no CSGO, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. There might be.
There is.
Son of a gun.
Couple 2 gamers, though. It's not.
No, I meant like there's not a big 333 for CSGO like there was yesterday. Nevertheless, let's go ahead. Let's fill up the 333. Let's fill up the main contest. Let's make them bigger. I'll see you at the top. Moose, do you have anything that you want to plug? Your digital shoes, the Book of Moose, episode 2, chapter 2, now out in theaters or on YouTube.
So I'll be gone next week. I'm going on my 8th vacation this year, so I'm gonna be chilling in Europe again. So if I do pop on, it'll be headphones and laptop, but still be definitely watching the show. And so I hope we can get some ARAMs in this weekend with Oh My Dear the God and anybody else that wants to come play.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go out there. Let's enter some tournaments, and hopefully I win.